Central Europe is blessed with a wealth of spectacular cities, and one of the crown jewels in that collection certainly has to be Prague, the capital and largest city in the Czech Republic. This UNESCO World Heritage Site boasts a regal and rich history that dates back to well over 1,000 years ago, thriving during the Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque eras, and serving as the main residence for several of the Holy Roman Emperors. A visit to modern-day Prague offers a host of highlights from this storied past, including places like the Charles Bridge, a statue-lined stone wonder that was built in the 14th century, spanning the Vltava River and making the city an important link in the trade route between Eastern and Western Europe. The Old Town Square, one of the prettiest parts of Prague, featuring the Tyne Church, St. Nicholas Church, the memorial to Jan Hus, who was an early church reformer, the Old Town Hall, and the oldest working astronomical clock in the world, dating back to 1410. The Jewish quarter of Prague, hosting the oldest active synagogue in Europe as well as the Jewish ceremonial hall and the old cemetery. Wallenstein Garden, a delightfully hidden Baroque oasis with geometrically designed gardens and an artificial cave with stalactites. Petrin Hill, a wonderful park setting full of walking trails and some of the best views of Prague from high above the river. And perhaps the biggest highlight in Prague, both literally and figuratively, is the massive castle complex that was built on the west bank of the Vltava beginning in the 9th century. This largest ancient castle in the world contains a host of treasures, including the mighty St. Vitus Cathedral, the Bohemian crown jewels, and the Golden Lane, just to name a few highlights. And it is at this very historic Prague landmark that we can learn a very valuable modern lesson about how not to interact with our fellow humans with whom we disagree. You see, the marvelous Hradčany Castle above the Vltava River was the site of a very unfortunate defenestration that occurred about 400 years ago. Defenestration is an underused word that simply describes the act of throwing someone or something out of a window. For example, sometimes when I travel, I practice what I call the defenestration diet. I simply throw it out the window and eat whatever I want. But in the case of this window, which is in the Prague Castle, a defenestration took place in 1618 that precipitated the 30 Years' War, one of the bloodiest in European history. As you might imagine, the cause of the window launching was religious disagreement. It had to do with the Peace of Augsburg from 1555 that gave princes the right to determine the religion of their subjects, either Protestant or Catholic. In Bohemia, where Prague is located, the Habsburgs, who were Catholic, controlled the area, but they allowed greater rights to the Protestant populations there. Over time, however, others came into power with more of a counter-Reformation streak, and they clamped down more on the Protestants. So, frustrated by a lack of meeting their demands, a group of Protestants threw 3 Catholic leaders out of this window. The men survived the defenestration, but the incident sparked a bloody war that soon became about much more than religion, and it embroiled all of Europe. The defenestration of Prague is a good reminder to us in this hyper-partisan era that it's okay to throw bad ideas out the window, but not people. You see, when we use our passports, either literally or metaphorically, when we're eager explorers of the world around us, we are going to be more and more likely to interact with people and ideas that are quite different than our own. This can be an invigorating process, but also at times a very frustrating thing. When we see cultures or people, either foreign or domestic, who do things differently than us, or think in ways that are foreign to our mindset, there can be a temptation to throw the baby out with the bathwater, or to defenestrate the person along with their ideas. We see all too often how quickly people are demonized, dehumanized, and attacked for merely having a different point of view. There seems to be little effort in trying to truly understand the point of view of those with whom we disagree, and this is leading us to some truly tragic results and a fracturing of our society that is truly unhealthy. People are defenestrating each other left and right, and this is not the way it should be. When you travel or read widely, or when you intentionally interact with those of a different viewpoint, it is a helpful and wonderful thing to hear other people's ideas, even if you don't ultimately end up agreeing with them. This kind of interaction helps sharpen your own thinking, And on some occasions, you may even find yourself changing your mind and growing in the process. For any other ideas that you don't quite subscribe to, you know what? It's okay to defenestrate those ideas while still having respect and appreciation for the people that hold them. There is a huge difference between throwing people out a window and throwing bad ideas out the window. What would our world look like if instead of defenestrating people, we opened up the windows of reason and respect? Don't you think it's about time we stop the window launching antics that have become so commonplace and learn how to live responsibly and respectfully in this multicultural world? Having a passport attitude means learning the lessons of places like Prague and taking advantage of this window of opportunity to choose a better way. If you enjoyed this historical visit to the beautiful city of Prague and would enjoy other content like this, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Passport Attitude, or check out my blog at passportattitude.com, where I'll be sharing a growing number of fun posts and ideas that will help you be an explorer at home and abroad. And if you have friends or family who are explorers at heart, thanks in advance for telling them about these sites. Finally, if you enjoy traveling and getting to places beyond just the normal tourist sites connecting with culture, history, and scenery, you should check out Walking Adventures, the wonderful company I've been guiding with since 2007. Take care, everybody.